Hi, everyone.
It's day 65.
That's right.
Business as usual.
We used to have an asterisk. Today, we're changing all that.
Where did the asterisk go?
It went away because Minnesota is opening their playgrounds and parks. And I think the golf center is open.
That's true.
Ooh. We're in a state of change. I hope you and your state are as well.
I saw a very ironic headline this morning.
What did it say?
It said, we're heading into a time of confusion.
Oh, was this posted today?
Yes.
Or like maybe it was a retro thing?
Well, 65 has a lot of different meanings. You know, people think of retirement at 65.
It's day 65.
Today's day 65.
Oh.
But what is, in numerology, what's the significance of 65?
I don't know.
65 is a number that's all about relationships. And if you haven't gotten that message from us in 65 days, I think you missed it.
Right.
So,
Like, how do you keep your business going when you can't be face to face, belly to belly? You know, this quarantine thing has offered us an opportunity to move our business into the virtual world. And we've been harping on that for 64 other days.
and some people have, and some people haven't.
Yeah.
You know, Floyd told us if you had no choice, what would you do? For a lot of us, there was no choice. And for a lot of us, you figured it out.
There still might not be a choice. Pennsylvania, as of today, is locked down. You cannot even deliver a yard sign if you have a new listing. You can take a new listing, but you can't go to the house to get it.
So what does Floyd tell us about what you do when you don't have to, or when you do have to? Well, what does he say? It's what you do when you don't have to that'll
That determines what you're going to be when you can no longer help it.
Right. So if in 65 days we have not convinced you to pivot and adopt at least the best of the virtual world, the things that apply to your business, well, I don't know that we ever will. So
We're assuming that we did. That's why we dressed for you.
to our farewell video.
Yes,
for
our
this
graduation.
series. We're not going away.
Right.
You can still find us on our podcast
Oh, this is
every
like
week.
a farewell tour where they keep showing up the following year.
Farewell Tour Part 1. Yeah. Yeah. So why are we telling everybody that pivot as much as you can? And here's the number one reason why. Things go back to normal, let's say, quote, normal, or go back to the way they used to be. Well, are they going to be different? You bet they are. Are half the people ready to buy and sell the good old way? I think they might be. But what about the other half of the people who are still afraid, who still need that reassurance that, yes, we can do this safely and virtually and not jeopardize your health or anybody's health?
Right. Just because things are open doesn't mean that people are all going to go to restaurants right now. In fact, we know in Montana that they've been open for almost 2 weeks now, and yet there are plenty of people still sheltering.
Yeah, I bet those restaurant owners who said, outdoor cafe, now we don't need that. I bet they're rethinking what they thought.
Out in the parking lot, Michael.
Exactly. So for those of you who are still saying, well, I don't know if I can handle all this becoming a virtual agent. Well, that's just fear talking. That's all it is. Because we've got so many people who have figured it out. And they've done everything on both sides of the transaction, one way or another, safely.
So go back and listen to day 1 and then keep going through this series if you have failed to make that transition into being a virtual agent, at least in the part of your business where it makes sense. And here's our message. Just because the governor says it's okay to like walk down your street or put a yard sign in front of a listing or use the playground does not mean that there's no more virus. We're going to have the virus with us for quite some time. Our challenge is to get ourselves to get back to work, into work. And by the way, some of you can't go back if you haven't left, right? But to do more efficiently what we were doing back in those old days, in the normal days. What if you didn't have to go back? What if you could do twice as much in half as much time? Wouldn't that make more sense?
And video conferencing is going to be the medium that we use to do that.
Yeah.
Whether it's Zoom or one of the other platforms, we do have a few tips that we'd like to leave you with today.
Because when you can see someone's face, when you can hear their voice but look in their eyes. It's part of how you communicate truth, sincerity, honesty, difficult things to hear and to say. Having that facial expression and voice inflection at the same time gives you, as a master salesperson, an asset, a benefit.
And if you haven't figured out yet that presenting an offer virtually gives you the opportunity to be in control of what they see and when they see it, and what they hear and when they hear it, and to see body language. You can't negotiate over the phone or via email or text. Floyd teaches us to negotiate money face to face. And that it means screen to screen as well.
And money means listing presentations too, listing appointments. Money means with a buyer when you're writing an offer up. So if you're used to being over the phone or texting, what if virtual platforms could make you more money in this next 12 months? That's been our whole message. Build relationships and use your master selling skills on a higher level because of the pandemic, because of the quarantine. It gives us an opportunity to take our skills to the next level. So we want to leave you with those Zoom tips.
Yesterday we talked about check out your background because they're going to be checking out your background.
Right.
Also watch the lighting. If you're backlit, then your face is obscured. They can't see your face. And some of you need to notice body language and facial expression and communicate that way.
And natural lighting is the best. If you can, find a place in your home that has some windows, has some natural lighting. Maybe you augment that with a couple of floor lamps, but you don't have to be in a spotlight. Natural lighting is best, and a plain background.
And if you've noticed, as more and more people are using video conferencing platforms, the internet is once again getting brittle and fragile and cranky and unreliable. And what do you do about it? It's simple. You hardwire your device with an Ethernet cord.
Yeah, you can get a 25-foot Ethernet cord from Amazon for like
$15.
Yeah, plus postage or free if you've got Prime,
Amazon,
right?
Yeah. Cat
right?
7.
25 feet will get you to the other end of your house, for Pete's sake.
And figure out how to use the screen share function on your video platform so you can show them the offer, so you can show them your PowerPoint.
Practice with a friend. You and a bud from your office or from your R Squared group get together and pretend that you're doing a presentation of an offer, a presentation of price on listing, and you practice that screen share. Help each other figure it out.
And if you've got a friend, speaking of that,
if you have a friend,
yes, you might that you're doing this video platform
yes.
with. Yeah, you might want to have them do the admin functions on Zoom while you're doing, for instance, a live presentation, because that's the way to interact with people, especially if you're doing like a walkthrough or an open house live.
Yeah, or presenting, for example, to an estate where there are 9 decision makers, right?
Yeah. And finally, a little story from Floyd and Zig Ziglar. They were about to do a big event. Zig was the first keynote and Floyd was following him, and they're standing backstage, and there's an audience full of people and bright lights illuminating the stage, but also blinding Floyd. He could not see the faces of the people sitting out there.
Oh, we know how important that is to him.
Oh, yeah. And he said to Zig, I can't see their faces. I don't know what to do. And Zig said,
they don't know that.
So learn how to stare at the green dot and pretend that you're looking into their eyes and seeing their facial expression. You will be able to do it back and forth, but that camera dot in the middle of your tablet or computer screen, that's where they see you looking at them.
Especially when you're saying something that you want them to really hear. You'll notice that we've been doing that with you. And we're not just pretending we're looking at you. We're thinking of you. We're trying to communicate our message with passion. And we're really trying to help you develop your business on a whole new level and deepen your relationships. And that's why we dressed for you. Our final day of business as usual, day 65.
For every single one of you that has watched any of these videos or shared them with your friends or commented back to us,
Thank you.
all we can say is we love you. Thank you very much.